If you want to know China to do better business and save time and money with expert insights, you've come to the right place. Welcome to Trade with China.
So, every year, China releases its Government Work Report, and it is this massive 10,000-word blueprint for the entire economy. It's absolutely essential reading, but let's be honest, it is incredibly dense. That's where we come in. We've decoded the whole thing, and what we found is that China's entire economic strategy really just boils down to two powerful levers.
Okay, let's dive right in. Any government has two main tools in its toolbox to steer the economy: monetary policy and fiscal policy. And this slide puts it perfectly. Monetary policy is all about persuasion. It's about making you want to spend. Fiscal policy, on the other hand, is direct action. The government just steps in and spends the money for you. Once you really get this distinction, the rest of their playbook makes perfect sense.
For the last 40 years, China's economy ran on this incredibly powerful engine, right? It was fueled by exports and investment. It was literally the world's factory. But that engine, well, it's starting to sputter a bit. So the new strategy is to build a brand new engine, one that's powered by domestic spending. And to get that new engine running, the government is pulling those two big levers we just talked about.
So, let's start with the first lever: encouragement. The goal here is to gently nudge people, to coax them into opening up their wallets. This is the world of monetary policy.
So what exactly is monetary policy? Well, put simply, it's how the central bank controls the supply of money. They've got a lot of tools, but the main one they use for this whole persuasion thing, the one that really affects all of us, is interest rates.
Now, this is where things get really interesting, because it's all about psychology. Imagine you've got some money sitting in a savings account. When the central bank cuts interest rates, the little reward you get for just letting your money sit there shrinks. And suddenly, you start thinking, you know what, my money isn't really working for me. This little nudge is designed to make you either spend it on things like a new car or a vacation, or maybe invest it in stocks. Either way, money that was static in a bank account becomes active, flowing water in the economy. And this is the classic challenge, isn't it? It's great to encourage spending, but what if people simply don't have the resources? This policy can hit two very real-world walls. Either people don't have enough money left after all the bills are paid, or they just don't have enough time in the day to actually go out and spend it.
And this slide shows the government's two-part answer. For that no money problem, the plan is to ease up on the intense profit-killing competition between businesses, which should, in theory, allow them to raise wages. And for the no time problem, the focus is on enforcing paid leave and creating more holidays. The logic is pretty straightforward. Give people both the means and the opportunity to spend.
So the crucial point here is that this first lever is all about creating incentives. It makes you willing to spend, it gives you the money to spend, and the time to spend, but it can't force you to take that final step. For that, you need a much more direct approach.
And that brings us to the second, more forceful lever: fiscal policy. This is where the government stops persuading and starts acting by injecting money directly into the economy.
And the scale of this direct action is just massive. Look at this number. This year, the government plans to spend 5.89 trillion yuan more than it collects. That entire deficit is borrowed money, and it's about to be pumped directly into key sectors of the economy.
This, of course, is the multi-trillion yuan question for any investor or business owner, right? If the government is turning on the spending tabs, where exactly is all that money flowing? Because that is where the opportunities are. The government's report gives us a pretty clear roadmap, highlighting 5 priority areas where this wave of investment is heading. So let's break them down.
First up, the consumption push. A huge chunk of this investment is aimed at going straight to the source, the consumer, to get them spending on big-ticket items.
We're talking about major programs to encourage people to upgrade their cars and their home appliances. Now, this doesn't just help manufacturers. It creates opportunities across the entire life cycle, from recycling old products to financing new ones, and even growing the secondhand market. Second, there's a massive push to bring China's industrial backbone into the future. The focus here is on making manufacturing smarter, faster, and way more efficient.
With 200 billion yuan set aside just for equipment upgrades, the goal is to create a new generation of smart factories. This is an opportunity not just for big equipment suppliers, but also for smaller tech firms that can help all those other businesses digitize their operations.
Third, the government is betting big on the foundational technologies of tomorrow, with a special focus on artificial intelligence and all the digital infrastructure you need to support it.
This creates a two-layered opportunity.
First, you have the building of the core infrastructure itself, the data centers, the networks, the satellite constellations. And second, there's the development of all the AI applications that will run on this new infrastructure, from customer service to financial analysis. Fourth, the government is placing strategic bets on specific, high-potential industries that it sees as the future pillars of the economy. You can think of these as the new frontiers for innovation. This list is a really clear signal of strategic priorities. We're talking semiconductors, aerospace, biomedicine, and even some futuristic concepts like the low-altitude economy of drones and air taxis. For businesses in these fields, this means a ton of government support and focus.
And finally, perhaps the most interesting shift of all is a move from investing in things like roads and bridges to investing directly in people and the services they need. This marks a significant change. The new bottlenecks to growth aren't roads and bridges anymore, they're human services. So the major opportunities now are in creating standardized, high-quality, and scalable solutions in areas like childcare, elder care, vocational training, and tourism.
So the government has its two levers. It's creating the motivation to spend, and it's directly investing trillions. But the ultimate success of this entire economic playbook, it really hinges on one final intangible element. To get people to spend, you need three things, kind of like a three-legged stool. You need to give them the money, and you need to give them the time. These policies we've talked about are designed to build those first two legs. But the third leg, the hardest one to create, is courage.
And this is really the heart of the matter. The courage to spend, to buy that new car, to invest in a new home, that doesn't come from a government program. It comes from a fundamental belief that tomorrow will be better than today. It grows from confidence in the future, and that is the one thing that policy can influence but never fully create. It remains the biggest variable in China's economic equation.
This channel brings you practical knowledge to navigate business, investment, culture, economic trends, and communication in your trades with China. And you know, your comments really encourage us and help us provide more useful information. So please, press like and subscribe now for more actionable insights and win-win solutions. Don't miss the opportunity to understand and succeed in trades with China.